So this is the Aston Martin Lagonda from 1990. Sort of a weird looking vehicle. It's actually going to be one of the last Aston Martin Lagondas. So they did bring the name back. This is actually going to be one of the last ones because they stopped making them in 1990. So that's actually quite interesting. Also it's a V8 by the looks of it. I'm surprised it's not a V12 actually. I really am surprised it's not a V12. I guess they didn't make V12s in 1990, so yeah, that makes sense actually. Anyway, let's get inside. I do know that it has got like digital gauges basically. So if I start the car up, you see, yeah, digital gauges. It doesn't sound bad as well actually. Yeah, it's got digital gauges, which kind of surprising actually. I can't think of any other cars from this era that actually has digital gauges. Yeah, I don't know much about this vehicle, to be honest. It's not really the type of vehicle I've looked into that much. I do know it exists, and I do know that it's sort of a rare vehicle, but that's it really. I do like the interior. I really do like the interior. I like how square everything is. It just looks really weird, and I do like that. Also, it's got a sunroof. I didn't know that. Okay, so at least this model came with a sunroof. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do when it comes to the actual build. I'm not going to do a drift build or drag build or anything along those lines. I think I am just going to put power basically into this. And as I said in the previous video, I am going to like skip through me putting all the race engine parts, race suspension parts and race differential and transmission and all that sort of stuff. Purely because there's not a lot I can say about that really. So with that done, let's move on to the actual wheels. I'm not sure what tyre compound I'm actually going to go choose. I don't really like the slick racing tyres on this type of vehicle because it just looks weird. So I think I'm actually going to go and choose the sport tyres. So onto the actual tyre width on the rear. I'm actually going to increase the tyre width on the rear. Maybe not that much. I think maybe around... yeah, that should be okay. So yeah, this is purely just to help it handle, basically, because I don't know how this will actually handle. It might handle good, it might handle terrible, I don't know. I'm not sure about the rims. I don't know. I don't know what would fit, really, with the rims for this. Like, I don't know what would fit. Maybe something like that, maybe? Maybe. Or maybe something like this, maybe, as well. So increase the rim size. Maybe not actually. That looks, yeah, it looks a little bit too weird. So I'm not gonna do that. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm not sure what rims then. So I think I'm actually gonna go and choose these rims. So they look okay. Should I increase the size though? No, I'm not gonna increase the size. That just looks a little bit too weird. So that's it done really, I think. Yeah, that's it done. So now onto the paint. Hopefully there is actual paint options this time, because the last, I think, 4 cars didn't really have any paint options. So now onto the paint. I'm not sure what I'm expecting. Hopefully, yes, it has got more colours than 3 colours basically. So it comes with this dark blue by looks of it, or near enough black. There's a lighter blue, which I think this is going to be one of those cars where it just looks good in pretty much every single colour. So there's this green option, which I don't think that's British Racing Green. I think that's just green by the looks of it. I don't know, it might be British Racing Green actually. There's sort of grey by the looks of it. There's light blue. It's kind of surprising. I wasn't expecting there to be light blue actually. So yeah, that's a surprising colour for this vehicle. There's red, which just makes it kind of look like a Volvo for some reason. There's a lighter grey, which, again, yeah, all these colours look okay. There's a light green, or like a pale green, and then there's white. I'm actually going to go for the pale green, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go for the pale green. I'm also going to paint the rims. I'm not sure what colour, though. I don't think... Should I paint them black? No, I'm not going to paint them black. That just looks a bit off, basically. Can I go and polish? So steel polish be okay? Maybe, or maybe brushed. No, I'm gonna go for polished. I'm gonna go for steel polished, basically. I'm not gonna tint the windows. So there, that's it done, basically. So not a bad looking vehicle, actually. Not a bad looking vehicle. I am surprised that there's sort of weird colours. I wasn't expecting there to be like a pale green, actually. Yeah, very weird. That's it done. Now on to actually driving it, and hopefully it handles okay. So it's actually kind of surprising that this car appeared in the Back to the 90s update, largely because this isn't really a 90s car. It stopped production in 1990, so I guess technically it is, but at the same time, it was more of a 70s and 80s vehicle than a 90s vehicle. So it's kind of weird that they added it in the Back to the 90s update. I guess technically they're not wrong, but at the same time, it certainly is weird. That being said, we knew that this car was coming to the game at some point. It was on the leaked car list, and a lot of vehicles from the leaked car list appear on this game. So it would make sense for this vehicle to be added at some point, but I am kind of surprised that it was in the Back to the 90s update. I actually have very weird and very strong memories of this car, because for quite a while I thought this was actually a fake car that someone just made for a Grand Theft Auto San Andreas mod. I remember coming across this car. I don't think it was this year. I think it was like an earlier model from like the 1980s. That was like a Grand Theft Auto San Andreas mod, and at the time I thought it was someone just made one. Like someone just made up a car and just put Aston Martin badge in and names on it. Because I seriously thought this was like a car someone just made. And it wasn't until like a couple of years later when I saw like a image of one. It must have been in some sort of list or something about weird vehicles. And this car was one of the vehicles. Yeah, so for quite a while I thought this was actually a fake vehicle. And it wasn't until I saw like a photo of a real one that I realised it was an actual real vehicle. I do have to admit, it does look weird, and it does look kind of like a car I guess someone would draw, or something along those lines. Like, it looks like a cartoon car, or like a car... I don't know, it looks like a car that's just fake, if that makes sense. So I can see where the younger version of me got that wrong and thought it was just a car someone invented. I do wonder if that mod still exists, because I would like to see... I'll try and find it, actually, because I don't know if it still exists or not, because it might have gone down, because quite a few Grand Theft Auto modern sites disappear over time. So it might have been on one of those that's disappeared. But we'll actually see, and if I can, I'll include photos of what I'm talking about. I'm also pretty sure this is actually the first time you can actually drive this car in a video game officially. I think it's been in several sort of other games, but unofficially sort of named differently. And I think it did appear in like one mobile sort of trading game, if that makes sense. But aside from that, this is actually the first time you can actually drive this car in a video game as well. So that's pretty cool as well. I will cover the other cars as well, and I will also make a list predicting what the next vehicles in the next update is, so stay tuned.